Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's so serious. Where my girls at? We linked up in a cool minute.
Down. It's going down. It's going out tonight. What? We got issues. Yes. We're ready to start. Oh my goodness.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
No.
Can't hear you.
Hello.
All right.
We got issues. It's the force of friendship. We are here, girlfriends. Happy Tuesday. And we got a full house tonight. There's Gloria, Crisette, Caterina, and Sabrina. We got issues on 19 AM, the Superstation. We're so glad that you're part of our growing tribe. And Gloria Banks is here as our host. Gloria, how are you? With your shoulder out.
I'm doing so good. Can you hear me okay? This is awesome. I'm so excited with one shoulder out because I'm at home, not outside where it's raining. I'm at home, so I can put one shoulder out. I thought, well, somebody might notice. Well, thank you, Sabrina, for noticing that I got on something just a little bit different. You got on a hat. Caterina, we're going to get to you in a minute with her long hair all of a sudden. I am going to do something up in here to surprise you. Hi, Chris. We're so excited. We got a full house here and a guest. Today on We Got Issues, we're talking about mental health. We're talking about how to enjoy yet de-stress, some in the winter time, in the holiday time. You know, this is just a time for all of us, some good happiness and some stressful times as well. So we're so excited to be with you today. We're excited that you get to call in. We're excited that you're part of the tribe of We Got Issues. We're very, very excited that we have Ebony on today that's going to bring to us a great wealth of experience in the mental health issue. So we're going to ask all our girlfriends that lean in to We Got Issues with the force of friendship to pay attention today and think about maybe someone that you might know that might need to hear a word from you after you learn something here with us today, because we love bringing you things to learn about, to laugh about, to fall in love with, and We Got Issues. Oh my gosh, we're so proud to represent 910 AM, the Superstation out of Detroit. We're so proud that we get to lean in with them and do things that are unusual, that serve the community and serve the world. So we're excited. If you're looking for us, you're going to see us on theforceoffriendship.com, and you can find out all the ways to follow us, to hear us, and to clue on into us. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube or Facebook, we're excited to have you here. However, if you want to participate and leave your voice, we want you to call in at 313-778-7600. And so we're very excited. So we know we're going to go to the one who just got back into the country, into the city. Your office looks absolutely gorgeous, Caterina. But them braids, girl, you got to work with me. You got to work with me. I am the only one out, y'all. The only one out that I haven't done it yet. Caterina, how was Jamaica? How was the wedding? Tell us a little bit about what's been going on with you.
Oh man. Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm excited to be back with my girlfriends, super excited to be back with my girlfriends, excited to be home, and excited to have my husband home. He has not been home here in California and seen my mom for, I don't know, it feels like, I think 6 weeks. So I remember when he hugged her and said, "I'll see you December 6th. And she was like, "What? This like November 1st. So as soon as we got in the city, I just felt like, as much as I love Chicago, this is the place that like the blood pressure goes down. This is where we like relax, even though, you know, I need to get some work done up in here because but it's a blessing. The wedding, my niece got married in Jamaica. And y'all, she is taking a month vacation. She is going to be in Jamaica for the entire month, staying on 4 different sides of the island. So young folks living well. They were guests on the show a while ago, Joy Ride with Dre, hashtag Joy Ride with Dre. Got married in Jamaica. Over 150 people, let's just say 150 pretty Black folk in Jamaica at the Secrets Resort, a Hyatt property, gorgeous. And honestly, I've done destination weddings. I'm sure all the girlfriends have done destination weddings. Some of my best girlfriends have done destination weddings, and 150 people at a destination wedding is a lot. I mean, this was not an inexpensive resort. She brought some cash to that resort. I was like, sister, I hope you got enough points so you can travel for a month. I mean, she impacted the economy. People are just traveling. Honestly, we've been in so many different airports, and to see the bellhops, what are they called? The sky caps. Lord, they've not been there for so long, but to see those sky caps, some of our favorite sky caps back to work, and just people back to work, they are like, man, these people are traveling, like making up for lost time. But it was really a blessing. You want to have global entry, Gloria. I know you know. I mean, you come in and we are through. You're back in the country in 2 seconds, and it just makes all the difference in the world. And it's wonderful. It makes a difference when you travel first class. It makes a difference just being, I will say this, when we went to Jamaica, we had an escort, someone who met us and walked us through customs in Jamaica. And when we left, we did not have that. And it was the line to get out of Jamaica, because they don't care about your status on that side, was long. And I was like, oh yes. So I'll just say that to the girlfriends. I mean, it was only like $50 or $75 or something, but someone met us, and she met us with the sign, Anthony Earl, and she walked us through all them long lines, and we were like in the country in a minute. So that was worth it. So anytime I go back to Jamaica, I don't know about other countries of the Caribbean, but that's like a must. That's a little travel tip, okay? And your own private driver.
Katrina, I just want to say this, they're called concierge. So if you guys travel, if you go back to the airport and ask for airport concierge, it really does make a difference on the international travel. I just want to say that. Yeah.
So that's what I just, it makes a difference. It was like the clear on that side. So it was a blessing. But I just will say this, there's nothing like that Jamaica sun, that beach, it's wonderful. Nothing like home. I will say, the last thing I'll say is I made a decision a long time ago that I wanted my mattress to be the most comfortable mattress I ever slept in. And I will tell you, I came straight in and took a nap. And it is, okay? As nice a beds as we slept in. Oh, it ain't nothing like your own bed when you've been, in and out. So it's a blessing.
That's hilarious. Well, we're excited for you, because you just came from a wedding. You're going to be celebrating your 10th anniversary coming up this weekend. So we're excited. So you just brought home a new woman with the braids. Don't you try to leave the subject of the braids. Okay, now they might
be here today. My braids come on and off, Gloria. My braids come on and off. These braids come on and off. I carry them in the luggage with me. Get excited.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's why you got to be on We Got Issues, because there's another notch going up. So they look fabulous. I'm gonna you gonna send me that link, Amazon, whoever you got it from, because I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give that a try for real.
Gloria.
I went back to the place. Katrina, me and Chris
don't send the link.
First one was wrong.
Do not send her the link. Don't send Gloria the link. Don't send her the link.
I might try it.
She ain't wearing it.
Okay, I might not, but I'm gonna try it. I'm so excited for you back with us. Sabrina, what's happening? Then we're gonna go to Chris. What's happening, Sabrina, with the hat on?
Life is good. Life is good. No complaints. 'Tis the season. I love this time of the year. I have my Christmas music playing. Twisted peppermint is my favorite candle. If you want your house to smell like Christmas, go to Bath and Body. It's twisted peppermint all day long. Kenny comes in and said, ooh, the house smells so good. Kennedy said, Mama, it smells like Christmas. And so we are just happy with Christmas smells and feels at the Mundy household. So glad that the decoration is all done so I can be about my business. So life is good. Counting my blessings along the way. Glad that all the girlfriends are in the house. Glad that Caterina is back safely. You guys, I just, attitude of gratitude. Every time I get ready to complain, I look at the news and I'm just so grateful. So grateful.
Mm-hmm. Attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful that my decoration is done. My tree, the tree is up.
Yes!
So I celebrate. I celebrate that. I celebrate it. Chris, what's happening out there in the Big D? What's going on in the D?
Hey. Welcome back, Caterina. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Everything is great in the D. It's a little chilly outside. My Christmas decorations are up. I still have a little bit more that I need to do. It'll get all finished by the weekend. And like you, Sabrina, it's so much to be thankful and grateful for. And Gloria, I'm so glad we're having this topic on today about mental health, because it is real. You know, too often, and I know just recently here in the city of Detroit, a family called the police for not a wellness check, but they had a family member who was having a breakdown, and they called the police and say they had mental health issues, and it was a young lady. And at the end of the day, the police ended up shooting and killing her. And so, you know, yes, exactly. Because I think she had a knife or something and she lunged at them or whatever the case. But, you know, it's just really sad that you hear these stories over and over and over again. You know, I know in the state of Michigan, many of our health institutions were shut down, and there's so many people that are in need of mental health. So I'm excited to jump right into this topic on today from our guests, because you know what? We got issues, and a lot of them are mental.
Right. We got issues. And, you know, the thing that you brought up, Chris, about the institutions shutting down, that was a big thing on the news today about how many of the hospitals are shutting down. And the big contest that's going on today in Georgia, a large part of that is about how the state of 11 million people will be represented when it comes to the hospitals, when it comes to the health. So let's bring our guest in. I'm really excited for you guys to meet Ebony. She is a mental health specialist. We're going to be able to meet her right after the break. We want to at least bring her in before we go to break. And I'm super excited to have her here from Memphis, Tennessee. Ebony is going to come in and she's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on. Hi, Ebony. Oh, my goodness. That's so exciting. We're so excited to welcome you to We Got Issues. Yeah.
Hi. How is everybody?
We are so good. You guys, we got a little feedback going on.
Ebony, turn your, if you can hear us through the computer, turn your computer volume down, not the don't mute yourself, but the volume on your computer might be coming through.
Hold on. Okay.
That will stop the feedback. We can test it out.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, is that better?
Perfect. Yeah, that's
okay.
Perfect. That's perfect. You guys, when Ebony comes back in, when we come back from this break, I'm going to bring her in to brag about herself, which is my favorite thing. I want to tell you, mental health trends show an increase in need for mental and behavioral health services. So Chris giving us that example of what's going on. And every time you turn on the news, there's always something going on. So Ebony, we're so excited to bring you this topic. We'll be right back to meet Ebony Hines, and we're all about the distress in December. crazy going on up in here. Oh my goodness. Even the Facebook people are saying, welcome, Ebony, welcome. Ebony, we're very excited to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you happen to fall in love with the profession that you have now? Brag to us about who you are and what you are to our world right now.
Okay, so I am Ebony Hines. I am a native Memphian from the Memphis, Tennessee. I actually decided at 13 that this was something that I wanted to do. So there was never anything else that caught my attention like this. I've always kind of wanted to get into people's minds to kind of understand what's going on with them. And then as I got older, it became wanting to know what's going on in their minds, but also wanting to help them in times of difficulty.
I'm sorry, say that last sentence again.
Okay, after I decided like this was something I wanted to do, as far as getting
Yes.
into people's minds and understanding, I wanted to be able to help them with solutions to move forward.
Awesome. At 13, that's very unusual that you knew at 13. So what was your journey from 13 to here? What did you do to get to this level of expertise?
Oh wow. Well, finishing high school, getting into college, staying focused during that process because I knew I was going to have to go to grad school. And I finished with grad school in 2016. And basically, I jumped right into the field. Like I was blessed to get my first therapist position 4 months out of grad school. So I jumped in and I've been in the field officially ever since.
You know, can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Because some people don't understand the journey of a therapist. So you went to grad school and then you were able to go, but is there an study that goes on? Tell us a little bit about the path to become a mental health expert.
So, getting into a good grad school and then going through the courses that are teaching you about diagnosis. What does that look like? So that you're not confusing it with other things that may be going on in a person's life. But also having those opportunities to do mock sessions in your classes so that you know, like, how to present yourself with clients and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's like a very jam-packed 2.5 to 3 years doing the master's program, and it's a lot of knowledge, to say the least.
Yes, that's awesome. I'm so excited. We're going to have a great conversation, open conversation, because I know that all of us have been faced with that. We have it in our families, we have it in people that we know, we have it in our communities, and we see it on TV like every single second. I want to ask you this. I want to start with this because they said that many people are turning to the digital health tools to treat mental health issues like anxiety and depression. People are turning to digital. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on in that market? What are the advantages and disadvantages of the fact that COVID opened up the fact that mental health can be served digitally versus live?
I have to tell you, personally, I love it. I love that there's now a worldwide conversation discussing mental health. Because personally, it should have never been something taboo to begin with. Mental health is just as important as any other aspect of our health, and I'm glad that people are now realizing that. But I would say, yeah, COVID definitely opened some doors to provide a digital platform, but it's needed because so many people did deal with shame of, oh, I'm gonna have to walk in the therapist's office. Somebody might see me, things of that, things like that. So, oh, somebody said I'm going in and out.
Okay, I got you.
Am I good?
You're good.
Okay. So yes, it definitely opened. They're dropping a little bit.
No, we got you. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I definitely think COVID opened doors for the digital platform. It's needed. It's actually more convenient. And now, like, a lot of people prefer just to do it that way. Like a lot of people don't care to go into offices. I even know other clinical therapists who have moved their private practice to strictly having like virtual, and they don't meet in person at all anymore. So I think it's a great thing. Yeah.
You know what? You brought up something that I want you to expound upon, because I didn't even think about this. I didn't think about the fact that the digital world of mental health allows people not to overcome the obstacle of people are going to see me, or what do I look like to them, or my neighbors are going to see me going into that office. You know, can you address that a little bit more in terms of what other resistance that are brought down because of digital?
So, because it was a taboo, type of subject, especially in the African American community, a lot of
Yes.
people, that's just not something people wanted, they didn't want people to know about that. And so now it's like it can almost, this gonna sound bad, but it can almost be done in secret. And of course, being a therapist, yes, confidentiality is big, but not in a sense of secrecy. It's more so like what you tell me doesn't leave here because this is a safe space for you, versus it being something like a dirty secret. Like, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's good.
Lori, we
That's
got a
good.
caller.
Yeah, we
Lori,
have a
we got a
caller.
caller.
Ebony, we have a caller. Hold on one second. We have a caller. Thanks for calling in 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. Are you there?
Good evening, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
I'm good. How are you? Good. This is PG, and good evening, Ebony. Hi. I think this is a great subject to talk about. There is a lot of shyness, or a lot of people are embarrassed about feeling the need to seek mental health and mental health therapy and mental health care. But I think the real mental problem is when you know that you need it and you don't go and get it. That's when you have a problem. And if you just listen to a lot of the callers that call into 910 and some of the vexatious things that they say and their behavior, you can hear it right there. We have so many adults that are just scarred and hurt people. And Miss Ebony, what are your thoughts about each one of us, men and women, reaching down into our core, pulling out that little boy or girl that's been hurt and nurturing that child? How do we do that today with social media? Excellent question.
Wow. I mean, that is a wonderful question. So a lot of times, that's exactly where people kind of stop in a mental sense when they, go through traumas, dealing with types of abuse and things like that growing up. That's a lot of times where people stop their lives. And honestly, going to therapy is one of the key things that a person would need to do, because it's not easy to overcome trauma. It's not easy to overcome abuse and, painful or hurtful things that happen during childhood. So I would say one of the first steps a person would take is going to therapy. But they definitely have to be self-aware that there is a problem. A lot of people honestly grow up and they don't even realize it. And so that in itself is dangerous, but it takes somebody knowing you well to be able to have that conversation. I guess when you have people in your life that are safe spaces for you, you're able to receive a little bit differently from them. So yes, therapy will be the first step, gaining an awareness on what you've been through. Because sometimes when we go through things, if it's the norm, like throughout a family, a person might not think, oh, something's wrong with this. So yeah, it takes somebody being able to point it out that you can trust to share those things with. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
Jealousy and envy, because I keep thinking about this girl, Shanquilla Robinson.
Yes, ma'am.
That, is a young entrepreneur, very successful, lured over to Mexico, and in less than 24 hours, this girl was killed by the Cabo Six that is supposed to be good friends with us. So how do we tie in that type of mental illness to the point that someone that is supposed to be your friend would show jealousy and envy to the point that they feel the need to kill you?
Is big. paying attention to discernment, paying attention to intuition. You have to be cautious of everybody nowadays. And it's not necessarily like don't go around like mistrusting everyone, but like you got to be cautious about who you give your trust to and who you allow to be in your space. Because as we know, like people get burned every day in relationships, in interpersonal relationships. So that combines everything. But it's honestly just having a deeper awareness of who's around you. Because you got some really good actors, because she definitely had some people around her who she thought was for her and they were not.
Right.
It was unfortunate, that it was found out at the last minute. But you have to be aware. You have to really vet people nowadays, because people don't operate like they used to. Not now. This world we live in is really different.
And we need to talk about that because.
I have a question, Ebony. Thank you so much.
It's got the show, the awesome queens. It's got the show. I want to leave my number. I don't want to share it on the radio, but I want to share what one of the 19 callers implied about the show, and I don't want to do it right now on the radio. So can I give you my number? And I don't mind giving it to you on the air.
Well, don't give it to us on the air. Don't give it to us on the air. We'll get it to some other way, PG, but we don't want you to give it on the air because, like she just said, the world is different. You don't know who's watching, who's listening. So let us get it to you another way, because I know that you can find us right before. And thank you so much. We're going to go to this break and we're going to come back to you, Chris. Thank you, PG. I appreciate it. We'll come back to Chris right when we're back, right after this message. Thank you. You're listening at 9:10 a.m. to Superstation. Well, this is a hot topic for sure. This is a very, very hot topic. Welcome back to We Got Issues at 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. And you guys, please lean in as we're getting ready to come to you with over 100 years of relationship information as we talk about real relationships. Asked to us to come to you from 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. So we're preparing for an absolutely fabulous event with that. And so we want to make sure that all of our friends tune in to The Force of Friendship and leave us your name and your email address, so we don't miss you and you don't miss us on this time. Chris, you had a question that you were going to go to. I'm going to you.
Absolutely. Ebony, thank you so much for joining. We got issues on today. Thank you. This is such a great conversation. So my question to you is, I heard recently that the incidence or the rate of suicide among children has drastically increased. I'm talking like 5 and 8-year-olds. And so I'm wondering, what are some of the causes of that? Is it all linked to social media, exposure? You know, what is it that these kids have that, and I know times has changed and it's not the same as it was when we were 5-year-old, but that just hit me, you know, that these kids this young would have suicidal thoughts.
You know something, it's so funny you asked this. So I'm actually in the process of working on my doctorate right now, and that is the topic of my capstone. I'm writing about the interpersonal factors dealing with adolescents in particular. And so it's not just one thing. A lot of the times it's many things that are stacked. So the home environment is key. It could be something, I want to say as simple as, but it could be something like parental relationships not being healthy, or other dysfunction going on in the home. Somebody may be using drugs. Somebody may be abusive sexually or physically. It could be the school environment as well. A lot of kids are bullied and they do not express and tell someone that is going on. They suffer in silence a lot. Sometimes it's relationships. A lot of teenagers get into relationships and they become way too heavy for that age group. It could also be self-esteem issues. I mean, illnesses, like a lot of kids who might, be sickly, whether it's been like cancer or something along that lines. Like, it's so many different things that impact children's worlds. And I feel like growing up, a lot of the times, like when kids say something, it was not given as much attention. And so when kids feel like they're neglected, like nobody cares about, the things that are bothering them, a lot of times they feel like they'd be better off not here. And it's unfortunate, but it's so many different things that kind of factor in.
But have you seen an uptick, the uptake in it? Why is there such a uptake? Because sometimes, there's an uptake, and then sometimes it's a matter of we're just hearing about it. Like, it's been going on, but we never hear about it. So is it an uptake in it, or we're just finding out about it?
It's definitely been an increase.
More prevalent.
That's good.
Hold on.
And while she's pulling that together, Caterina, I'm gonna go to you next to ask her question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and this is a question, but also can be a statement along.
Please, I'm just gonna do
Chris was talking about. You were saying, Gloria, is I don't know if you guys saw the study about the brain, and they found that kids' brains actually changed during the pandemic. That there was a physical change that took place in their brains. And so, Ebony, I don't know if you are familiar with that study. And I mean, the study just happened. So if, this is not something, I know it's affecting them right now, but gosh, we were talking about how that could affect the future as well. So, and so, Ebony, I don't know if you can address that. And I also was going to go back and ask about the digital piece. Before I ask the second question, are you familiar with that study at all, Ebony? I don't know if you want to, or just comment. Gloria was saying, was there an uptick or are we just hearing more about it because of social media and so forth?
Okay, so she told me to just use my phone normal. Okay, so I'm not.
Always best.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the study that you're speaking about right now, but the pandemic in itself has definitely shifted so many different things for kids. I like the way that even that they're growing up, everything is different compared to what kids were experiencing maybe like 5 years ago. So I would say definitely there's definitely been some uptick for sure.
Thompson later said no final
Mhm.
decisions have been
I
made.
wanted to ask
The committee
about
would
the
recommend
digital
be
piece, and
prosecuted
I
or for what
celebrate that
crimes.
people
The
being able
DOJ
to
already has a
reach out and
sprawling
get the
criminal
support
investigation
and
underway.
legitimate service
And
that they
today,
need. I
Congress
wanted to ask
recognized the
about
bravery and sacrifice of the officers who
prescription
defended
of
the
drugs.
Capitol
How
with
do
its highest
you
honor, the Congressional
again, I
Gold
watched
Medal.
another
We thank
study
those
where
heroes
there were
for their
people calling
service and
in or doing,
sacrifice.
working
The two top
digitally
Republicans in
that
Congress
really
also
had
paid
mental
tribute.
illness, and then
These
others
brave men and
who
women in
did
uniform
not, but
stood
they both were
strong in the
being
line of duty for our
prescribed
country,
drugs. So some
and we're
people were
forever
being
grateful.
prescribed drugs that
Wow.
otherwise in a legitimate situation should not have been prescribed those drugs. So if it's digital, how do you guard against that? If you're able to talk about that or are familiar with that, to know that people are really getting the medication that they need, and it's not medication that actually could lend, that shouldn't be prescribed to them.
So that comes
Nor in
down
which
to those licensed providers like psychiatrists, psychologists, but of course medical doctors as well. They would more so be on the side of prescribing medication. That's not
Mhm.
something that I do, nor do I desire it. I want no parts of it. Just because I know with medications, there's always a chance of an adverse reaction. And you can't, choose what that may be for the person. So I if I recommend somebody for medication, I send them to a trusted provider that I
Mhm.
know that's not gonna go more than they need. So that's typically the path that I take.
That's
Excellent,
very
excellent. Thanks
interesting
for just, yeah,
because
thanks for
what
sharing that.
what you
Okay,
just
go ahead.
what you just brought up, Katrina, which is great for you to say that, Ebony, is that it's a lot of time, even in this community, it's who do you know, who do you know, who do you know, and finding out the trusted provider, because they can be licensed, but they're not trusted, and vice versa. And I know that in this world of mental illness, trust is a big deal. It's a big deal to trust someone to tell the truth. Some of the
Yes.
comments are talking about, how do you get to the place where you can trust someone or let your guard down enough to tell them the most intimate parts of your life. I have a question for you. My question, Ebony, is how does a family member not take on the guilt when they are either a sister or a parent or a niece? You see different things go on. You don't move in the direction, or you don't even know to move in the direction. And then they get sick, and I want to know how they deal with that guilt. And I also want to know, how do you tell a person that you think they have a mental challenge? Like, how do you tell them that? Because that's a hard thing to swallow.
It
Mhm.
is. It is. So I would say first with guilt, got to put boundaries in place, healthy boundaries in
Mm.
place. That's the way that you maneuver trying to not feel guilt about things. Because the truth of the matter is, like when it comes to family, you're gonna always feel like you could have did more. Like no matter what the situation is, you'll always feel like you could have did more. So putting boundaries in place, but also being transparent in your communication, that matters a lot. um, I would say if a family member is dealing with something, have a conversation with them. Don't be afraid to do that, because some people knew that they should have, and then they never got the opportunity to. And you never want to be on the other end of that for sure. So just have a general conversation. Like if something is going on, see how they're feeling about it. What are their thoughts about it? And then go from there. But try to keep it an open line of communication, because it may be when you approach them about it, they may not be ready. But if they know it's an open line of communication and it's a non-judgmental zone,
Right.
they'll be
That's
down for it.
important.
But it got to be in their
Yeah,
timing. But don't
that's
don't
good.
feel afraid to address it.
Right.
Yeah,
Sabrina,
Ebony,
did you want to
that's
say
so
something?
good. Yeah. Oh, am I not on? Oh, yeah.
Sabrina.
Ebony, that's so good. Thank you for being here. Mental health is always of utmost importance. And whenever we can talk honestly, openly, transparent about what it is, it's good. And to have someone like you who is an expert in the field is even better. Um, because it's such a demand and we're talking about it more people are seeking medical help. They want to see a therapist. It's no providers out there. I mean, I hear every day, I'm trying to find a therapist. They're telling me it's going to be 2 to 3 months. And it saddens me that in the US, with our mental health being where it is, that we just don't have enough providers for those who want. What would you say to those who seek help but can't get it right now?
Good question. Oh, you got a
That's a
minute to
good
think
question.
about
I
that,
would
Ebony.
say
You got a minute to think about that because the music's playing and we're going to go to commercial. So you get a minute to think about that. An excellent question from Sabrina. And we're here with We Got Issues. The Force of Friendship is bringing you the topic that touches everybody. It's mental health with our guest, Ebony Hines. And you guys, we'll be right back. Oh, here we are. Here we are. It's always hard. It is always hard to squeeze a great topic with a great guest into this time frame. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Ebony. The music came on right when you were going to answer. that very critical question about what do you say when they cannot find a provider?
Honestly, get familiar with more resources. There are so many different ones now. Of course, for myself being an African American therapist, there are specific platforms for us. But just to throw out a few, like BetterHelp is a really good one, and that's like a therapist worldwide, licensed therapist worldwide. That you should be able to get in with at least within a week or two. So I would say BetterHelp for sure. Psychology
Is
Today
that
is very helpful,
betterhealth.org?
especially if you are looking for Black therapists. Like you can just type that in, like in Google, and it pops right up. So those would be the two key that I would give out as far as like locating resources for other therapists. Facebook is also a great place. Like a lot of loved ones, like if they have family members that are in the field of mental health, they will share. So I'm really grateful for. I get tagged in things all the time when
Do
people are
you?
looking for therapists or just like advice on looking into therapy, what they might look like for them. So yes, like Facebook is a great place. Great place
Ebony,
to
Ebony,
be.
did
that's
you say
good.
BetterHelp?
Yeah, those are
BetterHelp?
great resources. That's good. What
Okay.
about cost? Talk about cost because some people think they might need help, but think they can't afford it. Talk about options for the
A lot
in
of
that realm.
a lot of therapists do sliding scales so that people can afford at least close as far as funds go. I know like yeah, they can be tricky. Then you have a lot of therapists also that do pro bono work, and I know a lot of times their slots probably fill up really fast because it is opportunity for free services. But also look into nonprofits that have a counseling department, because like for instance my full-time job, um we have like 3 to 4 different areas in the city of Memphis that we service, and depending on like financial status and some other things, those clients that come to us are able to receive free counseling.
Good.
So
Free
just like
counseling.
it just depends on
Very
what's going on in your city. Like there's a lot of opportunities out there, but just people have to know about them, and then once they know about them, be willing to move.
right.
Yeah.
Those are
I'm
so
so
good.
excited that you talked about the services that are out there because sometimes we go out down our normal path and we don't know to broaden our awareness on where else we can be supported, especially when you're faced with something that's unique that your family has never dealt with before. I just want to spend a few minutes on some of the hot mental health trends of 2022 because these numbers really took me back. Number one, we know, but we're going to say it again, that anxiety and depression is on the rise. But these numbers are ones that took me back. 27% of adults experience symptoms of anxiety disorder. 1/4 of all adults have anxiety
Wow.
disorder, and 22% report symptoms of depression. That's a much higher number than we thought that it was. The increasing number of substance abuse, you guys, 14.8 million Americans struggle with alcohol disorder.
Mhm.
1.6 million people have opioid disorder. And listen to this, 96.6% of the people with opioid disorder have misused pain medication. So they get into opioid because of misuse. But I did not know that the statistic was 96%. And then the other thing that's causing mental health to go up, and you might expound on this, Ebony, is the overall decline in physical well-being. That when your physical well-being is not in a good space, it takes you to a mental place. Because we always think that if you're mentally messed up or having a hard time, you give up on your body. But we don't sometimes equate the fact that the physical challenges. It says that people have chronic, 12% of people have chronic conditions that came alive during the pandemic. 36% are experiencing difficulty with sleeping. 32% are having problems with eating. So that's a large percentage. How do you see that play out in your role?
Yeah. Okay. So definitely like the mental and the physical, they work together. Um, and a good chunk of that though does kind of coincide with what we're eating, what we're spending our time doing. Food, like I'm personally learning just even more about like the relationship with food and how different foods that we're eating are impacting our body and tearing us down inside, and we don't realize it because it's been the norm for so long, you know.
Right.
um I would say like with anxiety and depression, yes, symptoms will show up, and like a lot of times we don't even realize it. So for instance, anxiety in the DSM, which is like the Bible for diagnosis in the field of mental
Yeah.
health, one of the symptoms is irritability.
Back there downstairs.
How often are people
Mm.
experiencing irritability on a regular? That's one of the most
Right.
common symptoms. Not being able to sleep throughout the night, insomnia, broken sleep. Like that's one of the symptoms of anxiety. And it's like a lot of times people just think, oh, I'm just, I'm stressed about something. Something's going on right now. It's more to it. And with depression, I would say so much is going on in our world. Like we're as a country or as a world, honestly, we're grieving like so many different things that are going on, whether it's loss of celebrities, people losing jobs, like
Yeah.
it's just a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot of moving parts going on in our lives, and like we're all experiencing it. Like for instance, going through the pandemic, honestly, I don't think we really done, but going through the pandemic, people losing jobs, people losing
Right.
loved ones. I mean, at the speed of lightning, like it was just a scary time. And it
Right.
kind of still is because people are still losing loved ones, whether it's sickness and disease, car accidents. Like so much is happening in our world, and grief is just
Yeah.
worldwide right now. So that's something else that can contribute to depressive symptoms in us, and it's very unfortunate. But
Right. Because
self-care,
it's
taking care of ourselves, like that's the way that we kind of combat it. Learning as much information as you can about how depression can tear you down and how you can have doors open for that to come into your life. So that's another thing.
Well, that's a whole nother topic about how to handle it, the self-care
Yeah.
piece of it. We can go on and on and on forever amongst the girlfriends about self-care because it is something to learn about the self-care. And it's something to be able to even recognize some of these symptoms. We talked about the symptoms being there, but even the recognition of those symptoms is something. So, we often have our guests come back, Ebony, drop, hint, hint. We often have them come back for part 2 and part 3 because it's something that affects all of us. And as we go into the holidays, that's a whole nother topic about what we can do when you think about the holidays and how we can handle this and how different people handle it. Sabrina did a show earlier about de-stressing during the holidays. So this is a big thing. So we're super, super glad that you were able to join us today. Is there any last parting words that you want to give to the audience at all?
I would say make sure you're making yourself a priority, and always check in for your mental health because it's just as important as any other part of your health.
Wow.
Yes.
Mental health is
So
just as
good.
important as any other part of your health. Well, this has been
Good.
We Got Issues, and we were bringing it to you today. I'm so excited. We'll be here tomorrow for you, 6 to 7 p.m. The Force of Friendship and our new friend, Ebony Hines. You guys join our tribe. We want to have you here with us at theforceoffriendship.com. Watch for our podcast. We're coming at you real strong, and we're so excited. Thank you guys for on Facebook and YouTube letting us know how you feel about it. And we love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.